Welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, the show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs use human design to shift from hustle to flow without sacrificing results. Come here to become an unshakable human and build an unshakable business according to your human design. I'm your host, Nicole. Hello and welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, everybody. I'm your host, Nicole, and we're here for another episode in our Profiles series. For the first time on the show, we are diving into each of the 12 profiles, not just the lines, and we've gotten such great feedback for it. I've had so much fun diving into these. It's always fun for me to sort of prepare these episodes and just sort of be like, yeah, what do I want to say about this profile? What have I noticed working with all the people who had this profile, whether it be through readings or through coaching clients? What have I noticed? Or people in my life? I tend to run everybody's chart. If I know you well enough, I'll ask you for your birth date and your birth time, and I'll be running charts all over the place for your kids and for you. But what we're doing here, so now we are halfway through the series. We are getting there. Where we're at right now in the process is we have gone through all the ones with the personality ones. So 1, 3, 1, 4. We've gone through the 2s, the 2, 4, 2, 5. Now we did the 3, 5 in the last episode, and today we are hitting the 3, 6. So we are in the 6th episode of the 12 episode series. So we are at the halfway point. This is still a personal destiny. So this is still, and I'm going to put a little caveat here. So with a 3 in the front, you get a personal destiny, meaning that your purpose gets fulfilled kind of through your own process. It's less dependent on other people, unlike the transpersonal profiles that we have. And then we also have the juxtaposition profile, which is, there's only one of them, the 4-1, that stands on its own. And we'll talk about that when we get to that particular episode, because they're different. They're different than the rest of us. They have a different path, very fixed. Personal destiny is about the work that you do. It is about your personal process. And while technically the 4-6 still has a personal destiny, it's a different expression than a 3-6 because the 4 is connected to other people. The 4, we're getting to that second floor of the hexagram. We have the 1, 2, and the 3 kind of sitting on the first floor of the house. And then the second floor of the house is the 4, 5, 6. When we get to the 4, 6, we're in all upper house stuff. So it's a different expression. It's a different way. Even though the destiny is still personal, there's a lot more to do with other people in a 4-6 profile than a 3-6. The 3-6 is that personality 3 is driving a lot of that, of how this shows up. And the 3 is very much about itself and its own process. And it needs to follow its own process or it doesn't get to live out its purpose. So why are we having this series? Why is profile so important? Profile is important. I always say it's the role that you're here to play in this, movie called your life. It's like kind of your character description. What is this person going to be like? What kind of behavior is going to feel right for this character versus behavior that would feel really out of character for them? What is important about this person's journey? Your profile tells you all of that. And when we're talking about now the relation to the incarnation cross, so our incarnation cross is the purpose. This is the purpose theme that we all get. It's the theme that we're born under. It's led by our conscious sun. That is the one that leads the light that is shining in your personality. There's potential in that. Now we have the 4 gates of your incarnation cross, or your conscious sun, your conscious earth, your unconscious sun, and your unconscious earth. Now, each of those gates, we all know the gates, right? Each of those gates has a line expression that tells you a little bit about what the flavor of that gate will be like. A gate 22, so if you are a cross of rulership, there are 4 of those. It's a right angle cross. It's made of the 22, the 47th gate, the 26th gate, and the 45th gate. Now, depending on when you're born during the year, are you a March birthday cross of rulership person where you've got that 22 leading you? Are you a December birthday cross of rulership person where the 26 is the conscious sun? It's a very different expression. But then we also get, do you have the 22 in your conscious sun leading the cross and you are a 1 line? 22.1 is what it would look like on your chart. That's going to give us more flavor as to who you are versus somebody who's a 22.6. Very different expression, very different person. So the profile tells us, so let me go back. Incarnation cross is known as like 70% of your chart and led by that conscious sun. So it's very important. It's going to be probably more important than you think in your life. It's going to tell you a lot of what goes right for you and why, and what goes wrong with you and why. And you can look back through your life, certainly through profile, and you can say, well, where was I not being myself? And if you're not being in alignment with the gifts of your cross and the gifts of your profile, then life will probably feel difficult. And when we get into the expression of the incarnation cross, a lot of people trip up because it's a little bit more complex. It can be esoteric to understand what your purpose theme means. And I never really recommend starting there. I'll talk about it with people, but I don't necessarily say like, now go be in alignment with your cross, because that's not really how it shows up. You live in alignment with your type. You live in alignment with your profile, not with what your mind is telling you to do, but actually letting your body lead you. And your cross starts to show up. Your cross just starts to become who you are. It starts to work through you. So it's a different process, but profile is how I get people there in a lot of ways. There are aspects to it, but I'm always coming back to, you're a 3-line, you're a 3-6. You're this, and I guide you differently based on what that profile is, because it's so important for your journey, for you to be playing the role that you were really born to play and not trying to be somebody else. And profile is like the real core of that, being who you're meant to be. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about this 3-6 profile. This is the first time we're seeing the 6 line. This is the intro to the 6. We haven't seen the 6 line come up yet. And now we're having it come up in a harmonic profile. Now, harmonic, this is one of those profiles, again, that is like a step between. There are a lot more 3-5s and a lot more 4-6s than there are 3-6s. This is that short period of time that you need to be born in order to be a 3-6. Otherwise, you're going to end up a 3-5, or you'll end up different profile. So this is harmonic, meaning that the 3 and the 6 are the top of both of the floors. So we have the 1, 2, 3 on the first floor. The 3 is like the top stack on that first floor, if we use our house analogy. And then the 4, 5, and 6 on the second floor. The 6 is the top, the roof of the house, so to speak. So we have 2 tops, right? We have 2 top pieces. So they vibe together, but they're also very different. So just because we have harmony in the line doesn't necessarily mean that it will be easy for these people. Because quite honestly, everything in human design has some sort of tension or pull to it. But when we understand what that tension or pull is, it tells us what our lessons are and how we can create balance. We can actually find a process for creating balance when we look at it and we say, well, I'm these 2 things. And for a 3-6, I'm a 3 who needs to have experiences, who has a trial and error process, who needs to be comfortable letting things go, who needs to be comfortable with failure and to see failure as a stepping stone. So I have to be comfortable with all of those things, but I'm also a 6 where I'm going to need my alone time. I'm maybe going to be a bit of a perfectionist. So that 3-line messy process, the 6 can have a little bit of a problem with that. So they pull at each other. But when we know these things, now we know what to look out for. Now we know how to nurture ourselves so that we can be in harmony and alignment with both of these things. When we do that, we become who we were always meant to be. We're living our potential, finally, right? And nothing feels better than that. But rather than looking around in all sorts of vague or impersonal places, human design gives us the ability to look at this and say, this is what's most important for me. And that's what makes it so powerful. So let's talk about this particular profile, because it's pretty fascinating. So we have the 6 showing up for the first time. So we're seeing that 3-stage life process show up for the first time. Okay, so for those of you who are unfamiliar with the 6-line process, I'm going to explain it briefly here. The 6 goes through 3 stages of life. A 6 is born, and they are born a 3. From birth to age 30, their Saturn return, the first Saturn return, they are a 3-line. So technically, these people, when they're born, and for the first 30 years of life, they're a 3-3. I'm not going to lie. This might get messy. I don't think it's necessarily, well, I shouldn't say it isn't. I'll say it really depends on your upbringing and your mindset, what it's like to be a 24-year-old or a 16-year-old or an 11-year-old 3-6. And the reason I say that is because both your personality and your unconscious side are trial and erroring through life, bumping into life, and life is bumping into you. Now, what I've seen with 3-6s, I have seen 3-6s, I mean, this goes for a lot of 6 lines, but 3-6s who have embraced the rebellious, fun, there can be like a devil may care kind of attitude with 3-6 or certainly 6-3s too. You know, it's the same profile flipped, but very different expression because the destiny is different. We'll talk about that when we talk about the 6-3 in their own episode. But what I see with all of these people who have this phenomenon of that 3-3 lifestyle for the first part of their life is that they can have, on the high end, they can have a, screw it, let's do it attitude. Life is meant to be experienced. I never fail, I only learn. They can either learn that really early on and have a whole lot of fun. And whole varying spectrum on the outcome of that. But a lot of them will have a lot of fun and they'll talk about it like, I was just like out there. I lived life, right? So you have that particular experience. Then you have the other experience where the 3-6, so that 6 line that's going through that first third of life as a 3, that 6 is different. It knows it's different than the personality. A personality 3 or a true 3 line is just either in the shadow and feeling like a failure and being told that they're a failure. So like not living their destiny, not living what's right for them. So it's a shadow. Or they're like, screw it, let's do it. And they always have it, right? They always have that kind of attitude. But when you have a 6 in that first third of life, they know they're a 6. They know they're not a 3. They know on some level that they are preparing to be a role model. They can be a perfectionist. They can have really high standards for themselves. And it can be an unconscious thing where they beat themselves up so much more than just a regular 3 would for the failure, for not getting it right, for the relationships that truly aren't really right for them and they are meant to be let go, but they'll tell themselves, I should have made it work. That wasn't the person and I really wanted it to be the person. Why can't I just settle down? The 6 is like wanting that stability and the 3 is saying, God, no, anything but that. The 3 wants to break things and the 6 wants to put them back together. That's what we get here. Now the 3 can also say everything breaks and it can be a pessimist. And the 6 in its highest expression is saying we're building a new future. We're going to need to know what works and what doesn't. So do you see how these might pull at each other, that the 6 is saying like, calm down, kid. Let's just settle down. Now, particularly when we're going to talk about that second stage of life. So in that first stage, that 6, it's in its 3-line stage and it can resist it. And it can beat itself up for the mistakes that it made rather than really seeing them as experiences that were necessary for its growth and evolution. So I've seen both. I have seen the 3-3 phenomenon of that first 30 years where people are like, that was the most fun I ever had. Like my 20s were just so cool, so fun. And then I've had other people where they were like, I've never forgiven myself for this thing that happened when I was 22 years old. And it's become like it's a shadow we're moving now, something that's held them back ever since then. Because they have been holding themselves. They've been looking at it and saying, I should have been better. This is the shadow we have to work through. This is the shadow of that 6, right? So that's the first stage of life. 0 to 30, they're 3-3. That 6 is a 3. Then at 30, it shifts over and it goes on to the up on the roof, as we call it, where now it retreats from day-to-day life a little bit. It retreats from some of that trial and error. Now it's an observer. So from 30 to 50, the 6 becomes a 6, but it's not a role model yet, truly, not in the sense of what it will be when it gets to that third phase. But now it's sitting up on that roof and it's watching and it's reflecting and it's processing that crazy first third of life. Now, it might feel crazy no matter what 6 you are, a 4-6, a 3-6, a 6-3, but it's definitely probably more chaotic for the 3-6s and the 6-3s. probably definitely feels more chaotic to them. Okay. So how do we go about this, right? So this second stage of life, it's meant for reflection. It's meant to feel like a pause. But for those people who were loving that 3-3 lifestyle of the first 30 years, they're like, what's wrong with me sometimes? Why did life just like come to a screeching halt? But for those people who actually take that time and go inward and learn how to connect with their intuition and learn how to process and really think about what they did and what experiences they had and what relationships they had, they start to develop something that is a really profound wisdom. And that's what the second 20 years, the 30 to 50 phase, is about. It is about nurturing the wisdom that's within. And we can't find wisdom if we don't reflect. So you got 20 years to do it. So this is a necessary period, but can sometimes feel like they're in a holding pattern and they don't like it. Most of them are not okay with that. And some of them can fall. So you have that 3 that's saying, come on, let's go experience life, because it's still there and it's their personality in this case. There's that 3 that's saying like, let me out of this cage. And the 6 is saying, we just got to like take a break for a bit. We just have to come up here. I have to reflect. Which one's right? Both. They're both right. There needs to be balance here. You need to be nurturing yourself, and you do need to still be going out and breaking stuff and being free enough to have something not be perfect. And this is the big lesson for them. So they don't get to have that third phase of life, which is the 50 plus. And then they get to 50, they come down off that roof with real wisdom. They come down off that roof as a role model. And what that potential we're always nurturing really becomes is we get that pessimist that maybe had everything break in that 3 line in the front, met with this optimistic visionary in the back. That the 6 line says, I think I know where we can go now. I see something that I don't know if anybody's ever seen before. That's the potential of the 6, and that's the potential of a 3-6. A 3-6 is going to have a really rich life experience, and they're going to continue to have it. It's not like a 4-6 where that devil may care attitude might go away or definitely dissipate and they become more of a 6. 3-6 is still going to get their hands dirty, is still going to be in there in the mix. It's part of their destiny. It's part of their process till the day they die. So we have to nurture both of these sides. We have to say, I have to figure out how both of these coexist, right? And that's the potential with this. So some famous 3-6s, I have a list of them here. I had to go dig some of them out because there aren't many that like we know or like that I knew off the top of my head. So I went and I dug around, and there are some really cool ones. So B. Arthur, because I'm a Golden Girls fan. I love the Golden Girls. B. Arthur was from the Golden Girls, was a 3-6. Tina Fey, which I think she's a really great example of a 3-6. She's an emotional generator, but somebody who has that, like, she definitely has this like leadership quality, right? Which is what the 6 is about. Leadership quality. There's something about her. People follow her, like her cast, her people. She's very well respected. And Lorne Michaels put a lot of trust in her. She was head writer. I think he's probably considers her the closest to who he would hand the baton to have that level of trust. She has that leadership. People trust 6s. I should say that. A role model isn't just about being a role model as like a figurehead. A 6 is a leader. They are kind of the future leaders where they have a less selfish, I don't mean to make the 5 sound selfish, but we have more of like a power, a little bit more traditional leadership in the 5. And the 6 is kind of that quiet leader, the leader that just people gravitate toward for their wisdom, not for their brute force or their power. But Tina Fey has also tried a lot of things. I think it's interesting. She comes from an improv background. I think improv is a wonderful playground for 3s to go and exercise that. Why? Because you can't think and you have to be willing to fail. And quite honestly, sometimes the best stuff comes from your failure on stage in the moment, and it teaches you to be in the moment. And 3s are in the moment of just that, like, let's do it. Let's have fun. Let's try something new. So I think she's a good example from that respect of being a leader, but also just daring to try new things, break them, put yourself out there and it does not need to be perfect, but she definitely does still have a high standard, right? There's a standard that she has for the work that she puts out. Barbara Corcoran from the Corcoran Group and from Shark Tank, she is a 3/6, but I wanted to call this out because she's an emotional manifester. Very different energy between her and Tina Fey, right? Very, very different. And Tina Fey is a cross of Contagion, which is about taking care of your people, which is about spreading a message, which is about spreading creativity, which she does. Barbara Corcoran is a cross of Rulership, different expression, right? Manifester, very different way of going through the world, different energy to a Barbara Corcoran, but same profile, 3/6. And what has she done? Barbara Corcoran is a mentor, and she's also somebody, a manifester, like she's a self-made woman, sounds about right, tracks. But she's also somebody who went out there and she just dared to do it. I mean, she built the Corcoran Group, which I'm from New York originally. It's everywhere, and it has been for my entire life, pretty much. She's been one of the biggest real estate companies in all of New York City. She built that from nothing. And that's a manifester, but that's also somebody who dared to put themselves out there. And she was also seen as a leader. She's absolutely been a leader in the New York space for a long time. But now in Shark Tank, she takes a chance on new people, on new ideas, on new businesses, and she mentors them. 6 is a mentor. So this is how these things show up, right? So those are some famous 3/6s to just show you what it looks like out in the world for these people to walk around, how it's exemplified. And I'm not saying that any of them are perfect, but it does help us to see and get a gauge for, oh, I see the difference between the 3/5 and the 3/6. And you'll see the difference between a 3/6 and a 4/6. There's a daringness to successful 3/6s. So I hope you had fun with this. I hope you enjoyed it. By the way, we have something very new that came out, which is all about writing content according to your human design. I know so many of you are entrepreneurs. I know if you're loving this series, you probably want to know, how do I incorporate my profile into my business and into my content writing, which is all about your marketing, really, when we're talking about content. How do I incorporate my profile into my marketing? So we actually created a program on this, which goes through type and through profile. It's so cheap. I feel like I'm insane for offering it for the price that we're offering it. It's under $50. It's crazy. It's content by design. If you're interested, DM me the word content, just that word, please. DM me the word content on Instagram. I'm at Nicole Official, and we will hook you up with the details on that program and get it in your hands. It's really good. It's what I teach all the people inside my actual Business by Design program. It's a small piece of what we do there, but we wanted to share it with you because we think that it could have add a ton of value to your business and help you put your design into action, which is really what we're about over here. Don't think about it. Don't learn about it. Go do it. Okay? So if you want that, DM me content on Instagram and we'll send you the details. Thank you so much for being here. And remember, in order to have an unshakable business, you must first become an unshakable human. So thanks for letting us help you become unshakable with human design, everybody. We will see you next time. If you love this episode and you're a fan of the show, please show us the love on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to the show and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with other entrepreneurs on their human design journey, join our free Facebook community, Human Design for Entrepreneurs. Go to NicoleLano.me/podcast links to join the group, book a human design reading with me, or access our free human design resources. We'll see you there.